Hello, Robotarians. We're going to take that first program that you wrote, where the robot runs for a certain amount of time, and change it so that it runs for a certain amount of rotations. And by rotations, I mean rotations of the axle that's in the motor. So you'll be measuring things in how far the wheels have rotated. So first thing we're going to do is take out that time block. Instead of running for a certain amount of time, and whenever you have loose wires here, if you hit Command B, you will remove all broken wires. Or you can do it from the pull down menu. But Command B, any broken wires disappear. Now we right click on the screen and we're going to bring a wait block, but instead of waiting for a certain amount of time, we're going to use the polymorphic indicator, or excuse me, polymorphic selector, and we're going to wait for a certain amount of rotation. So what's going to happen now is the motor's going to start. It's going to wait for a certain amount of spin of the motors, and then it's going to stop. So now we're just measuring in terms of rotation of the axles. How far do we want to rotate? Well, we can set it to whatever we want. And you'll notice the default is 180 degrees, so half a rotation of the wheels. How do we change that? Well, we create a constant, and let's just make it 720 degrees. So if we were to run this, the motor would spin for 2 rotations, 720 degrees before stopping. There's one other thing you need though. You need to tell the program which port to measure the rotation from. And you'll notice that I have it set to ports B and C. That's where my motors are plugged in when I start the movement, and then ports B and C are the motors that I stop. So I create a constant, and I have to choose A, B, or C. Either B or C is fine. Those are the motors that are working. Actually, one thing I'll have you do during your next experiment is change this to port A and see what happens. But to get things started, choose B or C. Either motor is fine. And now save this program, and you will, when you deploy it to the robot and run it, the motors will start. It will spin for 720 degrees and then stop. And you will use this as your basic program for the next experimentation where we're moving control distances. Thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure. See y'all in class.